Let's go ahead. Let's dive into it. So yesterday, I was sent this tweet, and I saw that Capitol Hunters, hashtag Sedition Hunters, a big one has dropped. The first major arrest of Nick Fuentes' Groypers, the neo-Nazi suit guy, Joseph Brody, and his 4 friends, hashtag Suit Guys Flock. This is a big one, and some things about it are still embargoed. It only gets bigger. I read like a 45-page report on this arrest from the DOJ. This is basically the summary, though. They've maintained a mega threat on this since March 2021. Suit Guys walked in with the Fuentes Groyper army. He brought over 200 followers, but then moved together all day. 4 young college-age men and their older mentor. The iconic picture of Suit Guy in tweet 1 is by Victor Blue, blah, blah, blah. And so here they have the photo that they're posting up of the Groypers that have been arrested. Here you have one of them in the chamber, it looks like. You continue on. One of the flock members is Sonny Binghamton student John, president of the NY Federation of College Republicans and a public figure in his own right, famous for suing his university. He felt he was censored after a leftist mob hassled him. Continuing on, it's more information. Apparently they have them allegedly around this equipment and whatnot that was broken, allegedly. Here they are, allegedly going in. Sedition Hunters tracked and identified the whole flock: Joseph Brody, John, Paul, Tom, and Gabriel. The charging documents are built on that meticulous work, blah, blah, blah. So you go on. Here's me in the thread. But basically, they put out this mega thread. There's a 45-page document, like I said, about how they arrested these people, what here they are in this chamber, here they are there on the Capitol grounds, whatever. I saw this yesterday, briefly mentioned it, and Nick, I said yesterday, I'm like, I have a lot of respect. It would be props. I know I said this yesterday that Nick doesn't like these people, but they did a lot for his organization. They were a part of it for a very, very long time. And while they were at the Capitol, the reason they were there, the reason that all of this was happening was they were Groypers. Nick called them to go to D.C. He wanted them there, and they were simply doing what they believed their leader wanted them to do. So they're there at the Capitol, destroyed their lives, now have to deal with all this bullshit because of Nick Fuentes, because they were Groypers. And at the very least, he can be like, I don't like these people, but we're not cool, but it sucks that this is happening. This shouldn't happen to them. It's something along those lines. Obviously, he is doing the exact opposite. He's celebrating, he's laughing, he's posting all about this, running a victory lap. I saw that he had a Twitter account called Pack Watch. If you guys don't know, if you're not familiar with the meme, it's like a black guy smoking a blunt, and they call it like Pack Watch when they're smoking on someone's death or they're smoking on someone's misfortune. That's what he's been doing all day, celebrating this. He thinks it's funny. And again, I would not be surprised in the slightest if he had something to do with this. But he put out on his Telegram here, contrary to what has been reported, these 5 who were arrested in connection with J6 are not Groypers. The fat loser Joseph, he calls him Jewish and a Wignac. Gabriel, he calls Jewish. John, he says vaccinated and Jewish, have all recently been associated with APU at their recent conference. Thomas Carey is also vaccinated and not a Groyper. And then he links the Capitol Hunters post. Now, again, I'm going to tell all of you, I was there, firsthand experience. I know a lot of these individuals. I've met them multiple times. These people go back to being Groypers 2018, 2019. They were a part of America First up until December 2021. December 2021. This year, 2022, is the only time that they haven't been. Up until December, they were. And not only were they Groypers, he sits here, and we'll read the rest of this, but I'll give you the background. He talks about John here splintering from AF long ago with his vaccinated Jewish comrades to form a pitiful little outfit called Legacy America, which apparently is some kind of junior partner to APU. which, again, long ago, he claims. Long ago, he has nothing to do with it. He fails to mention that this individual, again, I like John a lot. It's unfortunate that this has happened to him at all. He's been, underground. He was the head of the political team. That's just facts. Up until December 2020, the only reason he had any contacts with anybody at all in politics, in any candidates, anything, any of these events that were going on, the reason that they set up that protest with the boomer lady in Illinois and Springfield, the Republican groups in New York, he was the head. He was the head of the political program, and he left in December because he wants nothing to do with Nick. He thought Nick was a fucking joke. His movement's a joke. He saw what happened in New York when all of us basically were like, Nick is a fucking joke. This whole thing's a joke. And he left in December 2021. And he wants to sit here, oh, he has nothing to do with him. Not only did he have something to do with America First, and Nick wants to play this off, but he was good friends with Nick. This whole response is sick. It really is. I mean, the way that Nick treats his former friends, he wants to claim, oh, I'm such a victim. Everyone backstabs me. But he goes on and shit talks all these people, celebrates them being in jail. He posts this himself smirking and all of this bullshit. But John, like I said, was a good friend of everyone's in the movement, and I still consider him a good friend. He was in Chicago multiple times. Nick invited him out to Chicago to stay at his place in his apartment on his couch. I remember last summer he was out there twice, and we were there. Nick wanted to watch the entire 5th season of Rick and Morty with him, which we all watched Rick and Morty. Okay. I remember we were driving around and there was like a tornado that came through, and John was like, oh, let's hang out. We were like just driving around, whatever. And then the weather came and we all just basically sat under a bridge for hours while it was storming. Like, this guy was around. He was shopping. He was at the mall. He was a friend of Nick's. And in fact, there was a joke, an ongoing joke. We were always busting his balls, Nick's balls, because John forgot deodorant or something, and Nick's like, yeah, you can use my deodorant and whatnot. And I'm like, who the fuck why would you let someone use your deodorant? That's fucking weird. It was an ongoing thing, a constant joke between everyone. Like, you let John use your deodorant? That's fucking weird. Like, all of this just goes to show, like, this is not some random guy. This guy slept on Nick's couch multiple times. They had a falling out, rightfully so, because Nick's a fucking scumbag like every single one of his friends. Every single one of his friends has since left, wants nothing to do with this guy. But he was respected by everyone in AF. He was, again, leader of the political intern team. The only reason that the Gosar connection was maintained, the only reason there was any talk to Joe Kent, any of these people, before Joe Kent disavowed and burned the bridge, was because of this individual. He's politically competent. He knows what he's doing. And ever since him and his team have left, Nick's despised him. He goes back all the way to before Groyper Wars, before AFPAC 1, before Groyper Leadership Summit, all of that. He was there. And this is how Nick repays him. Not only did this guy just leave, but he tried to start his own thing, and Groyper's mass reported all of their social medias. They've basically been stalking and threatening them ever since he's left. Did he do anything? Did John go out? I was the head of the political intern team. I want nothing to do with this guy. Nick's a fraud, blah, blah, blah. He just left. He simply left. He resigned, and this is how he's repaid. They had a falling out. Rightfully so. John said, your movement's a fucking joke. I want nothing to do with you. I've been doing all this work, and you, first of all, shit all over me. Second of all, you just blow up every bridge that I build, essentially. And much like myself putting out the 2 Telegram posts and leaving, that is what John did. John said, hey, Nick, Appreciate working with you, but I'm going to go my own separate way. Now Nick's slandering him, calling him Jewish, saying that he's vaccinated. This just isn't true. In fact, he always talked about being Italian and would nag Nick, because Nick is obviously Mexican, and be like, hey, you know, you're not a real Italian like me, etc., etc. And to make things even worse, and maybe this is like a personal thing. Maybe I'm letting my emotions through a little bit here, but John, good friend of mine, was a good friend of Nick's. John invited Nick into his home. His mother cooked him food. He let Nick stay with him. Like, the fact that he's just blowing all this off, this guy has nothing to do with America First. Even if you're like, okay, the friendship thing, whatever, Nick's a fucking scumbag. He was the head political intern, the head of the political team. He was on every single meeting, every one, when it came to politics, when it came to the midterms, when it came to talking about connections to different candidates. He would scout candidates. And then you wonder, why is America First doing nothing in the midterms? Why do they not care about politics? Why is Nick sitting here tweeting about how he's gonna throw the elections for the Democrats, and he hopes that the Democrats win the House and the Senate? Why? What happened, Mr. A year ago? Oh, we're running this thing. It's all America First. We run the country. This individual right here. Anyways, I just had to go off for a second on that, because I think it's sick that former best friend, former great friend, former employee, he's now just a Jewish loser. Also, another one of these guys, one of the main devs on his team for a very long time. Another one of these guys goes back to, I met one of the first Groypers I ever met at Groyper Leadership Summit. All these people go back way before I do. They go back to 2017, 2018. These are some of the first fans Nick ever had when he had 100, 200 viewers. These were the people in the Discord. These were the people that had his back. These are the people that were running the ops for this guy for a very long time, until eventually they're like, we've had enough of this fucking person. And if you can't tell, everybody is expendable. He doesn't care about personal relationships. He doesn't care about, the memories you've made. He doesn't care that he lets him use his deodorant stick. He doesn't care that he lets him sleep on his couch. He doesn't care about any of this stuff. This person is not a normal person. He's not a Christian. He's not a good person. He is a sick, twisted, evil individual, truly. And his response to all of this really goes to show it. I want to continue on here. So he says John splintered from AF long ago. Again, December is when he splintered. And he's been trying to do his own thing, which is what Nick tells people to do, for the record. This is what he tells people to do. He's been claiming, he wants to get out there. He wants to make a difference. Everyone just destroys. He's the only one that builds. Funny enough, every time someone tries to build something, whether it's American Virtue, it's Legacy America, and it's John. Simon's in chat right now. When it's Simon trying to put on a pro-America, America First event in Florida, what happens? Groypers go and dox Simon. They get him fired. They mass report John's TikTok, get him banned. In fact, I actually talked to John, and they were dropping doxes. They were threatening to dox him because he was doing this project months ago on that TikTok page. This is not just a they were doing this side thing. Nick's been keeping up with these people ever since they left, as they do with everybody, threatening them behind the scenes, going after John's family, Simon's family. That's what Nick does. Continuing on here, he then goes after Brosif, who he says, who manufactured the Twitter hoax in May, definitely not a Groyper, which again, everybody remembers him defending Brosif's his joke about the Waukesha thing. A lot of people obviously took issue with that, and I'm not a fan of the joke. I thought it was pretty distasteful. But Nick went on for days defending that joke. He went on for days saying, how this was a joke, and Brosif's been here since 2017, which he has. He's been there since 2017. He hosted the Airbnb for AFPAC 1. This guy was driving everyone around DC. He's been around Super Chatter forever. He was in the intern team. Nick's going to say, oh, these people are nobody. These are not nobodies. These were his crew up until they left. And again, he's claiming these things. I have yet to see proof of any of this, but he goes on. This is who he was claiming ran the Mr. Krabs 9000 account back in May or June or whatever, even though all the evidence points that at it being Nick. He claims that this individual, it was him. He continues on. This is Brosif's profile picture. Clearly the same individual on the Brosif TikTok and the same person identified, which, again, I don't know what that has to do with it. He then says, you see what I have to deal with? He was at AFPAC 0 in 2019, and then somewhere along the way he decided to stick a knife in my back. Why does everyone do this to poor Nick? Why is he such a victim? I don't understand why is he such a victim? Every single person, it's online creators, it's offline creators. John has done nothing to Nick. Okay, let's take him at his word, even though I don't believe a word that he says. He claims that Brosif was fucking with him. There's no proof. I've yet to see proof that that's true. But I know for a fact, John, Simon, these guys have went off and have been doing their own thing. Like I just mentioned, the AV event, Legacy America, doing their own thing, pushing America first. They're not doing drama content every day. They're just doing their thing, pushing for the policies that they believe, that they believe in, whatever, like a actual Christian nationalist political movement that isn't led by a homosexual atheist catboy Mexican, right? Like they're actually doing things, trying to push these things, where Nick, on the other hand, just wants to destroy his enemies, attack them, lie about them, slander them, threaten them. And he threatened to go to the feds on 2 other interns and 1 other streamer. So it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if the people that he holds these grudges against, the one that he keeps claiming messed with him in May, but also I know for a fact that he has deep resentment towards these people, because I was around longer than December. When they left, I was still around. I was cool with them, but he would sit there and see about them constantly. He was finding their projects. He was stalking them. He was keeping up with everything they did and said, and he randomly would send it to me and be like, did you see this? Did you see what they're doing here? Anyways, and then he says, by the way, we knew all this stuff for a long time, but we don't dox people, so we just had to take it on the chin. Now that they're all named in this criminal complaint and implicated as Groypers, you can hear the real story. And again, he doesn't tell the real story. He doesn't say these people were heads of the developer team, heads of security, heads of the political team. Groypers that go all the way back to 2018, 2017. He doesn't talk about the boxing events that that he was with AFPAC 1, where John and Brainsick Blaze boxed, and how this was like an ongoing thing, how they were all buddy, how he let this guy come to Chicago and crash on his couch multiple times. And he says here he doesn't dox people. First of all, that's just laughable. RPG's in chat right now. I saw today on Ralph's stream that they were going after anti-Groyper Action, whose account, he hasn't done anything. He hasn't posted in 2 months. I guess they called his mother on stream and doxed him and his mom. Again, not surprising. That's what these people do. But I do want to bring this to everybody's attention. I have these censored. Let me post these real quick to my Discord. But Nick, in this whole thing, this whole fake bullshit, let me do this, bing bong. This right here is a direct contradiction with what he claims. Let me pull these up. So here, this is a Nick post right here. It is censored. But right here, he posts Brosif, but he also posts an individual right here. I'm not going to show the actual picture, but he clips it, he cuts it, crops it on these 2. Why do you think that is? Could it be that this is also an intern who was working with Nick and walked away? Well, being on the inside, this individual has nothing to do with Nick at all, literally nothing. But Nick, of course, posts him with them holding the AF flag next to Brosif. Why? To implicate him, because Nick, hates this individual. Let's go on to the next one. We got one more here where Mr. I don't dox people. Well, here's a picture that he has of the people, the 3 that were arrested. He blanks out this person. He goes through and blanks out this person who he doesn't have beef with. And then this person who is censored, he has a username which has been censored for this stream. He posted this, though, uncensored, who, once again, he has beef with. And he posts his screen name with his face. He face doxes them and claims, we don't dox people, we don't dox people. Again, this picture, I don't even know where it's from. Whoever's in the middle probably gave this to Nick. But he has all their usernames. Probably was planning to use this at some point. But has all their usernames. And then this individual who wasn't picked up by the feds, wasn't in the Capitol, had nothing to do with it, that Nick hates, possibly because he left the intern program. I'm not going to say for sure because I don't want to implicate this individual in anything. But it may have to do with someone who worked for Nick and then didn't and wants nothing to do with it and disavowed. I don't know for sure. Or do I? I don't know. But yeah, Mr. I don't dox anybody. Here's the face dox and the screen name of someone that Nick hates. Classic. Real classy. This is the guy that's saving America. This is the guy. So, you know, a fair response, I would say, because he hates these people. He feels like, oh, they betrayed him. They stabbed him in the back. They walked away from the movement when they realized it was nothing but a grift operation to you know, pack Nick's pockets full of cash. They walked away, and this is the treatment they get. This is the treatment. And all of this just goes to show, first of all, when you leave the cult, there's no leaving the cult. To everyone that's like, oh, Jaden, just walk away, there's no walking away. We tried that in May. And he continued every single day to fuck with me and said himself that he would torpedo my life in any way possible, whether it's I go into politics, I start a business, I get a job, I go back to school. He said that he was going to torpedo my life in any way possible. These people didn't go on the Kino Casino. These people didn't say anything publicly. They walked away, and this is what he does to them. And again, he knows all these people's information. He has their face docs, etc., because they were part of his organization. They were high up in his organization. And to any Groyper who's trying to climb the ladder, any Groyper that thinks, oh, Nick likes me, he's going to treat me different. He let these people sleep on his couch. It wasn't for a work thing. They just came and hung out in Chicago for a few days. John, others slept on his couch. He was sitting there, watched all the Rick and Morty episodes. He's driving around getting ice cream with them. Okay? It's not just some random guy. Oh, it's some random Groyper. Like the guy in California, never heard of that guy in my life. Literally, totally random Groyper. These 5 individuals, they were at every single event, every one. I knew them. But I will read this because I don't want to implicate, I don't want to, they wanted me to say this. John wanted me to say this. So I'll go ahead and read this. He says, and I quote, when I read his Telegram thread, I laughed. What a sad, pathetic little man. Good to know he's still thinking about me, though. I want to state for the record, this is from John, that I have no associations with his dying movement. Even with everything happening right now, my chief concern is that people think I have anything to do with that loser. Laughing my ass off. So, good to know that he's in good spirits. Good to know that, you know, he has one more middle finger for old Nick. But it really is. This is fucked. It's like the last time really I felt this way was when I was cool with Baked Alaska and they came down on him. Obviously, all those feelings are out the fucking window. Not because we have beef, but because he's a fucking rat, snitching on Trump supporters. But these guys I've known for a very long time, and it is very, very unfortunate what's happening to them. And again, all of this could have been avoided and would have been avoided had these guys not been involved with Nick. And that's just True. Factually true. He wants to say they weren't Groypers. After they were at the Capitol, they were Groypers for almost a full year. And they were there because Nick Fuentes told them to be there. That's why they were there. Because Nick Fuentes said, come fight for your country. Be there. We want you there. This is crucial. This is for Trump. That we're going to save America. That's why they were there. That's why they were there. And again, I would put my life, I would bet my life on the fact that Baked Alaska in his plea deal or Nick Fuentes ratting to the feds, which he's threatened to do to Patrick Casey, other employees. I've heard it myself. I heard it myself back in November, back in December. I witnessed it myself. And I said that on the Keon Casino initially. One of the reasons I wanted to get the fuck out. He saw no issue with going to the feds. Just like he sees no issue with doxing, going after these individuals, going after these individuals' family, going after RPG, Ultros. This is not a Christian movement. These are deep. I don't like saying this. I don't like saying this. I really don't, because I do believe in redemption. These are evil people. I don't know if Nick even believes in a God, honestly. But if he worships a God, I don't know. But if he genuinely believes that, the guy is worshiping the devil. Like, it's just true. He is not worshiping Jesus Christ. This is not a Christian movement. This is not what you do to people. I don't care if they hurt your feelings, Nick. I know you're watching. I don't care if you feel like they stabbed you in the back by walking away and all of the political relevancy you had because of John he took with him. I don't care. And I don't think anyone that is watching this really cares. It doesn't justify going after them, smearing them as Jewish. First of all, half your movement is Jewish. Second of all, you had no issue with these people for years. Third of all, they're not Jewish. And fourth, you endorsed Jewish Laura Loomer for Congress, who wants to send more money to Israel. Your mentor is Milo Yiannopoulos. It's a fucking joke. It's a fucking joke. And then you go on here, and he says here, rot in prison and burn in hell, traitor. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. That's what his take is here. It has American patriots getting fucked over by the DOJ. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. All this pandering, all these crocodile tears for people when they go after Baked Alaska, a literal snitch who shouldn't be in the position he's in. He shouldn't be when it comes to this, the whole January 6th thing. But he did snitch, and he is a scumbag. I mean, he does commit crimes on stream. Maybe he shouldn't have been there for the Capitol stuff, but all the rest of these streams, the assaulting people on stream multiple times, the financial fraud, the tax evasion, all that stuff, you know. But the January 6th stuff, I've said on this show, even after I had the falling out with America First, Baked Alaska, he didn't deserve it, but he is a snitch. He is a rat. Any sympathy is out the window. I have no sympathy for rats, traitors, scum. And Nick would argue the same thing, except Baked Alaska is a traitor to his country, his fellow conservatives, Donald Trump, all the people that he claims to represent. These people are not traitors because they realize Nick is a grifting scumbag, liar, piece of shit, faker, and they said, you know what? I'm going to walk away and do something that's actually has virtue, that's actually moral, that actually pushes the things that we claim to stand for as Christians, Catholics, etc. I know that these guys are Catholic. So Nick here, they're traitors because they walked away from the movement. These aren't people that were attacking this guy. I mean, he claims brosif. I don't think that's true. But I know for a fact the other four had nothing to do with anything when it comes to, oh, they're fucking with me, they're doing this, they're doing that. Their sin, the reason they're in jail, the reason that they're getting picked up, the reason that they were at January 6th is because they believed in you. They believed in Nick Fuentes. They believed in his message. They believed in America First. They thought that he wasn't just some grifting scumbag. They actually thought that what he said, he meant. And that's why they were there, putting their life on the line, doing what they were told And you can say, oh, well, he can't control these. He's a cult leader. He says he makes people take a pledge to rape, kill, and die for him. He tells people that if you leave the movement, you're a traitor and he's going to destroy your life. He tells people he genuinely believes that he is, Stalin, Hitler, whatever. And he tries to rule his 1,000, 2,000 follower cult as a dictator would, with fear, with fucking crushing anyone that opposes him. And it's not even it's not even opposition. It's just leaving. You can't leave. You cannot leave. And that's why he continues to go hard after me. He continues to go hard after Simon. He goes hard after these individuals, anyone that walks away. So anyways, it's unfortunate to see. It really is. I really do feel for these guys. It's funny that this is the TikTok he uses to claim that he's a Wignat because he has a Panther Den sweatshirt on. Like, Panther Den wasn't shilled by AF and everyone for a year plus. It literally says Trump 2020. This is probably old as shit. And he went through and screenshotted it and said, hey, look, this guy is, he's one of those Wignats. So everyone is a Wignat. Everyone's Jewish. And that's a bad thing to Nick, apparently, when it's convenient. But when they're all working for your organization, head of the political team, on the cybersecurity team, all of this stuff, it's no big deal. No problem at all. They're awesome. They can come sleep on your couch, etc. Use your deodorant, all of that. So it's fucked up. It really is. And I say this, and I'm passionate about this, because I see what he does to people who leave this cult. I see it. People who get involved, who do good things for Nick, treat him well, try to do everything in their power to help him because they believe in the message. They believe in what Nick has sold them. They eventually, most, find out that it's all bullshit and the guy's an absolute scumbag. He's a snake oil salesman. And again, that's why everyone that he works with eventually leaves. Have you ever noticed that? Unless they're like Beardson, fully financially independent on him, and weak. But anyone that's like smart, anyone that's competent, anyone that has any sort of brains, they grow up. And they move on. They realize it is what it is. It's fake. It's phony. And then Nick goes after them. And then he wonders why, wow, nobody likes me. Why is everyone stabbing me in the back? I'm such a good guy. The guy is evil. He really is. It's evil. The movement is evil. And I know people will say, oh, that's cringe. He's laughing while these people while these people rot in prison. He tells them to burn in hell. It's sick. And then, of course, what does Baked Alaska say about this? What does Baked Alaska say about this? The guy who told me I can't criticize him because he's selling out America First Patriots, possibly these individuals. What does he do? What does he say? Nothing. Baked Alaska says nothing. The guy literally says nothing. His title of his stream, let's read it. Title of his stream: Wake and Baked. Trump sued by New York. Fed interest rate hike. Putin is back. And Majora's Mask. Nothing. Silence. You would think that Groyper, non-Groyper, 5 young white guys in their early 20s that had something to do. Funny enough, Baked has met all of these people. He's, shook hands with them. He's been at parties with them. He's been at events with them. He knows these people. These individuals were at every event. Everyone. He knows them. Does he say anything? Does he wish them, hey, they're not Groypers anymore, but what's happening to them is really fucked up. I know what it's like, blah, blah, blah. No, he doesn't. He says nothing. Does he care that Nick Fuentes is telling January 6th defendants to rot in prison and burn in hell? No, he doesn't. He doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. This is what Baked Alaska does. While young 20-ish, early 20-year-olds, 5 white young 20-year-olds that were in America First are in custody This is what Baked Alaska's doing.
All-Stars, thank you for the 10. I appreciate it. Let's keep it going. Thank you for the music. Hell yeah.
Couldn't care less. Could not care less. They won't. They don't even deserve a spot in his title. That's how little these people care. And again, the reasoning is because he splintered away in December 2021 and is now following Vince Dow, Red Eagle Politics, Blake Masters, Columbia Bugle, and America Virtue. That makes sense. That makes sense. But hey, all the Groypers, all the ones that continue to Nick suck, the ones that continue to dedicate your lives to this shit, the ones that continue to, the foot soldiers really that are going after people like RPG, going after Ultros, going after these individuals, going after John, Simon, etc. I'm sure that those individuals, I'm sure Nick would never turn on you. I'm sure that he wouldn't throw you to the feds the second that it becomes convenient. I'm sure that he wouldn't, sell you out in an instant. But you're different. You're different, Kings. All the hate watchers, you guys are different. The people that are watching and enjoy his show, I don't know how you don't see through the bullshit, that it's all just lies, and he gets on there for an hour, says the right things, gets off, and he doesn't live by any of those values. He gets off, logs on. I don't even want to go there, but we saw what Mr. Krabs 9000 was up to, and he's basically said as much to me. Attacks people's family, gets on there, tries to cozy up to a triple vax bisexual cuck in Destiny, gets on there, tries to cozy up to black cucks, literally cuck. Black guy Sneeko said that he'd get with a tranny. It's funny that he uses Jewish as a insult in this case, which again, these people aren't, but he uses that. But when it comes to, or vaccinated in this case, vaccinated Jewish guy right here, but Destiny, triple vax bisexual cuck, libtard, he's cool in his book. He has no problem with him. Will he go after him? No, he'll go 100 times harder after these individuals who are actually Christian, actually America First, actually conservative, instead of going after any of his so-called enemies, because those are his besties. The leftists, the Jewish pedophile, Max Carson, Mr. Girl, who was talking about babies, sucking, put in, fill in the blank. That guy, they'll interact with him. They'll offer him a spot on Cozy. Simon, who is a white father, married, has 2 children. He's going to go ahead and try to threaten him, financially ruin him, threaten to sue him. The whole thing, dox him, go after his work. This is the guy that these guys support because none of them care. Most of them are probably children. But to anyone that's older than, the age of 16, maybe I get it. Funny jokes. It's whatever. If that's what it is to you, if that's all it is, and you think Nick's funny and it's a big joke or whatever, then there's really no getting through to you. But if you're like genuinely a Christian, if you actually believe the things that you say, Christ is King, Jesus Christ is Lord, etc., I would strongly suggest taking a look at what Nick actually stands for and the actions that America First, the things they do every single day. The fact Ralph was calling anti-Groyper actions mother on stream. This guy has not done anything in 2 months. In 2 months, he has not posted. You could say, well, he doxed. Okay, I don't think that, stooping to that level regardless. But they say RPG had doxed his mother. That's not even true. Ralph posted about her when she passed. But I'm not doxing anybody. I don't think now RPG has stooped to that level. John, Simon, these people are not doxing people. They are not stooping to this level, but that's what they do. They said it themselves, criminals are base. There are no rules. They go low, they go lower. You go low, they go lower. There are no rules. So not surprised, but again, genuine conservatives, Groypers, people that got into that America First for the right reasons. Take a look at this thread right here. And with what I gave you, the information, this guy sleeping on his couch, friends for years, goes all the way back, hasn't done anything. He claims Broseph did, like I said. John, the others, has not done anything. Gabe, John, Tom, none of them did a single thing to this guy, but walked away. That's it. Walked away. This is how he's treated. I know I'm rambling, but it does get my my blood flowing, I will say, seeing him go after actual conservatives, actual Christians, actual patriots that I consider friends. I mean, how can you argue with this? If they're engaging with the drama every single day, that's their justification for going after RPG, myself. He made a TikTok, they made a website, they made a Twitter account where they sit there and talk about conservative values. Talk about Christianity. They're not raking in the money. You know, Nick always is bragging about the super chats. He's bragging about the millions of dollars that helicopter money has given him. These individuals, they're not on the show begging for super chats. They're not, you know, engaging with random Twitch streamers begging for clout. They're getting on platforms, making conservative content, making no money off of it because they care. And this is what they get in return. And then, of course, the doxing thing that he says they don't dox. I just mentioned like 8 people, but then they'll go ahead and they'll post this picture here. They'll post this with people that have nothing to do with it. They're doxed. They'll censor the people they like. They'll leave out the people that they don't like. Again, I censored this. This is censored from me. His actual post, not censored. He has no issue with it. It's depraved. And Baked Alaska, again, couldn't care less. Real American patriot. Baked Alaska couldn't give a fuck less.